Bringing that good music. Yahweh International. New Foundation Production presents.
Hey, it's your boy Arquise. Welcome to the Arquise and Food for Thought Project. December 2017. Why is it 82 degrees outside here in Houston? You guys are freezing or getting rained out wherever you are at, and it's like summer here. But please don't trip because it was just snowing here a couple of weeks ago, and then this week on Christmas Eve and Christmas, it's supposed to be snowing again. How do you go from 80 to like snowing? And global warming is supposed to be fake. Whatever. Anyway, that brings up to tonight's topic. We're going to be talking about the holidays. Look, I want to talk about Christmas and Easter. But before I do that, happy holidays, everybody. Your Kwanzaa, your Hanukkah, and everything in between. But let me just get to what's been on my nerves for years and completely has gotten to the point where I can't take it no more. And that is how the commercialism of these holidays have gotten completely out of control. First of all, Lord, let me just apologize out the gate because I used to be one of the people that wanted gifts during Christmas and would just, want to watch these little stories about you here and there, hear your story, but really was all about me. I'm one of those people that grew up in that atmosphere where Christmas was a time for gifts that I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? As a child, great, Santa Claus, okay. Santa Claus was just shoved down your throat. Didn't really know about Christ's role and everything until maybe junior high when you really started getting it. No, maybe 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Like, this holiday is not about Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? But, generation after generation after generation after generation, it's always been Santa, 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 Santa. Oh yeah, by the way, Jesus. That's how it's always felt for a very long time. And as time has gone on, that's been even more of the case because, generation after generation, as you pass it along, they pass it along, right? So then now we're in the 2000s and technology and social media continues to completely exploit the birth of Christ to the point where, if you live on the West Coast where it's very liberal, first of all, people get offended if you say Merry Christmas. People out there say Happy Holidays because they don't know who you are, what you represent. Out here in the South, what we're going to say? We're going to say Merry Christmas, okay? Period, point blank. It's the Bible Belt. It's how we roll. But let me just express to you my awakening when it came to this holiday. And it didn't come around as far as a December thing. It probably happened when I moved to Houston. Well, it really happened before that. Really, when I was in California. And as I started working with young people and becoming more socially conscious about the struggles of the less fortunate and seeing them struggle in general, but when I was counseling kids, I noticed that if they were in the system, like if they were in jail or someplace I was working, like if you don't know, I've been a counselor, I've been working with probation, mental health kids. One thing I noticed was that suicide rate and depression increased on the holidays, specifically Christmas and Thanksgiving, right? And so that was already weighing on me, just watching how two of the most impactful holidays become the most depressing holidays for a lot of people. And that's for, a very long time. You just, here comes Christmas, you dreading it, because when you are a young person, not with your family, you don't want to celebrate. You can get all the gifts in the world, but if you're not with your family, they put it in real perspective when you're dealing with kids in the system. You can shove as many bikes and give them as much things, but at the end of the day, when they go to bed, you can hear them crying in the room because them gifts and all that stuff didn't mean anything. What was important to them was being with their family. And they might have been in the system 6 months, a year, 2 years. It could have been a week. Imagine you a kid and you get into the system December. And now you're gonna miss, or matter of fact, even better yet, November. So now you're gonna miss, there goes my little tweet. People are tweeting me while I'm doing the show. Now you're gonna miss Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you've only been in the system 2 months. And I'm just sharing to you how I got to where I'm at now. So I've seen some really depressing things happen to, not, I won't say I was depressed about it, but it was painful for me to watch people being in depression during the holidays. So let alone from some young people, homeless people I was dealing with, or kids who were in juvie, it was hard to see that. And then you leave work or leave ministry to go out into the world, and you watching these people in the malls just buying all this stuff, and you watch the commercials, you watch all of this stuff, and you get this sickening feeling in your stomach, right? Well, it doesn't start off as that feeling in your stomach. It starts off as a small little migraine. It bothers you. And you might be, in my case, I was still doing gift giving at the time, but not enjoying it. Because deep down, I knew something wasn't right? The expectation of getting gifts and all that. So through my journey with Christ and my father and just really understanding, this is what I don't understand. People say, just turn your phone off, but see, people are asking me questions about the show. So I'm gonna just, when people know I'm doing the show right now, I'm like, really, people? Okay, I'm just gonna mute that. Sorry, people. We live, you know what I'm saying? So, I just started understanding better. So as time went on and you see all these things going on and all the festivity of the lights, I do love the lights, but the Christmas trees, just everything, you start really seeing the complete pimping of Jesus Christ on his birthday, right? I'll be like, who did this? I mean, that's the first thing. I know I'm not gonna get into how Christmas came attached to Jesus' birthday. It's not hard to look up. Just look up the history of Christmas. I want you to do some dig good, because some people try to hide it. But if you really go to some good history sites about Christmas and how it came, it's gonna make you mad. First of all, you'll see how they jacked Christmas from Christ and how they thought they were slick with this festival that they didn't want to get rid of because the Christians were taking over, basically, and how to appease the peasants and the freaking idol worshiper people with the new movement of Christ that was coming into play at the time. But that's for you to figure out. But it's not rocket science. So anyway, the complete pimping of Christ, the commercialism of Christmas, the clear pushing down of Jesus' birthday, and I mean his birth. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the little shows they talk about on that you see on TV. They'll show some movies. I'm not talking about the short little presentations at church. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the complete hijacking of his birth and everything around it. Because he don't deserve a moment when it comes to this. First of all, Christmas is every day. If you understand the role of Christ. If you're a believer, let me just say, if you're non-believers, listen to me. Christmas is every day because God is blessing you every single day. December is the celebration of his birth. It's all about him. It's every aspect is about him coming here and the journey that the three kings took to get to him and everything around that. Mary's journey, you gotta understand something. She was a virgin. Carrie, the story alone, just digging that out this month is just from the whole month of December, you could just think about Mary and what she went through. Just take a conscious thought into that. Think about Joseph, what he went through. Just take some time and just think about that. Think about where the Christ was born. Don't look at them nativity scenes where it's all looking clean and stuff. Please don't get this wrong. As I grew up on a farm and barns and stuff like that. He grew up where there was animals. It smelled like a barn. It basically was attached, the way it was is basically not the best situation, clearly. But the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords was born there. That's where he was at. And kings and everybody came, not everybody, but to see him in this situation. And we paint it as this this beautiful thing. But when you look at it from the aesthetics, if you know anything about being in, if you've ever lived on a farm, been to a farm, been in a situation around animals or anything like that, then you know for sure that there was nothing clean about that. That whole thing is a miracle because he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and look how he's given, you know. But at the same time, it really kind of shows you, like, if the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords was born into that, and we're constantly ignoring the homeless and the people who don't have nothing, it's kind of deep when you really think about that, right? Because it says a lot about who we are as believers and as humans. And it's a sad moment. It's just a sad moment when you take a breath and think that that's a passing moment. So here's my thing. Believers, listen to me with your deepest spirit, discernment, and everything else that God has put into you. Listen what I'm saying. You have to stop putting up Christmas trees. That has nothing to do with Christ. There was no Christmas trees when he was born. There was no, well, the tree. Don't come up with them whack excuses. Well, the baubles on the tree represents the gift. No, that's not biblically correct. There's nothing in the Bible that says anything about that. There's nothing historically. We all know, if you do your history, everybody will know where the tree came from and the baubles and that whole separate thing, right? Well, the kids, okay. So, I mean, that's even a horrible excuse. Well, my kids are already tied into Christmas and the tree. Then what are you telling the Father? Don't say it to me. I want you to take your hands, fold them together, and explain to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords why you can't teach your kids the real reason of Christ, Christmas, and why you don't want to not do the Christmas tree and stuff. Okay? It's going to be a tough sell for you. You know, if you feel bold like that, I just couldn't even make my mouth to do it. You know, because here, let me just be brutally honest. If I had kids and I should have been teaching them the right way from the jump. I should have been teaching them about the Christ and not about that other stuff, just first of all. So you have a couple of choices if you're somebody with kids. First of all, get rid of the tree and do the nativity scene. That's my compromise on that. It makes total sense. It'll put the focus back to where it's supposed to at. Put one in your house, put one in the front of your yard if your neighbors aren't gonna flip out. If you live in California and some of the areas I lived in, yes, your neighbor's gonna flip out because them liberals out there gotta be PC. You might wake up in the morning and it'd be gone. And if you live in the South, you're gonna be straight. Put a nativity scene up in your house and put a nativity scene up in your outside in your front, okay? And put some effort into it. Really, if I had the money, if you're gonna go hard on them lights and go hard on that tree, man, put some serious effort into that scene. If you don't, it's cool. I'm not knocking you for that. I'm just saying, you're going hard for the other stuff, just go hard for the Father. So, and just announce it and get your friends on board. First of all, this is a point of ministry. This is taking back what's been taken from you and taken from the Father. You need to get with all of your friends that are believers and make a conscious vow to the Father that you will no longer commercialize his birthday. And that the gift giving will be to the less fortunate, the homeless, and whoever else. And you're going to try to get as many people on board with this as possible. And when you guys get together, December is his month. You know, you're going to just make, you might volunteer every weekend up to that. You're going to find creative ways to show Christ to the world. Just if the three kings can walk as long as they walked, think about it. That was an action that they took. So this is an action month. This month is be full of action. And if you're one of the people that just can't get out like that, then you donate to people who can. And when I say donate to people who can, you find the shelters, the locked facilities, the mental health facilities that have people who don't have, or you find the homeless people. Me personally, I'll buy some jackets, put them in the car, buy some shoes, put them, and every time I pass somebody, what you need? If I see them without a coat, what size are you? Boom, 20, there it is. You got to get at it, and you should be doing that year round, but we're talking about December. But here we go. No more trees, none of that stuff. I don't particularly care about the lights, whatever. But a nativity scene, and the gifts, buy them, but they're not for you and they're not for the kids. They're for the least fortunate, bikes and whatever it may be. And then partner with whoever agencies, find them. There's tons of them. Foster care. People, this is not rocket science. If you want to give the kids foster care, shelters, mental health facilities, juvenile hall, whatever, there's places that can give. And let me tell you why you should do mental health facilities, because a lot of the time these kids don't get to go home. They don't get passes. You don't know this, but kids who are in, like, if you're in California, Starview, I don't think Lincoln has them no more. Seneca, a couple of different places in Texas. There's Devereaux. There are places all over, foster care facilities. A lot of times these kids are either misplaced or not with the families, so they may not have the opportunities that everybody else have, right? So that's the Christmas that needs to happen from 2018 on. That's what needs to be going on. Get rid of these trees, man. Don't even insult yourself, insult your family, insult the Father. Mostly, I'm just saying, don't insult him with a tree that has nothing to do with him. Put everything back the way it's supposed to be. And tell corporate America, the believers, we out. We're not having it. Okay? And then the kids, they're not gonna get gifts. And my kids this. Oh, let me help everybody out with the kids thing. When's your kid's birthday? Yeah, he has his own Christmas. It's called a birthday. And his birthday is not in December, okay? Straight up 100. You need to go hard on his birthday. That's his day or her day. That's a day when you need to be going all out celebrating them, not Christmas. Whoever told you Christmas was about gift giving, whatever, you're sharing for your good man. What? No, okay? Let me see. When do you get something? You get something on your anniversary. You get raises at your job. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You have a birthday where you get to get celebrated. Ladies, you got Valentine's. There's more than enough days where people completely can be all about you. But can Jesus just have his day without any commercialism and pimping going on? Can he? It's bad enough with everything we had to deal with this year when it came to politics and religion and all that other stuff. But he deserves his day, straight up. So that's my thing on Christmas, people. I no longer am participating in any buffoonery that has to do with my father's birthday. It's his day. Okay? What I will be doing is giving gifts and giving to the people who don't have, who are in need. That just seems more appropriate. There are a lot of people out there that just don't have. And there's nothing worse in December than seeing these same people freezing outside. I can't even tell you when I saw I was so upset just seeing some of these homeless people. I had to go get some stuff and go get it to them. But Father, let me just thank you for coming, being born, coming here and doing what you did for all of us. If you're not a believer, this part is not for you, but listen up because he did it for you too. And saving us, forgiving us for everything we've done and how we've completely been pimping you for business and profit. And I mean, in every aspect, from churches to artists to whatever it may be, we've made you a commodity instead of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. One of the things I recently told people is what I want to go back and do through my distribution is really, honestly and truly, make all my albums free. And to be understanding something, even though I was charging, buy my albums, most people know how I did that. Most of that money went right back into ministry. None of the money we ever received for any of our albums, listen to me, was ever used personally. It was not doable. First of all, because what we were building, but as somebody told me, church is a business, and I'm aware of what happens around Christ and how a lot of people manipulate him into a commodity, something to be sold and profited on, and use their own religious mindset to justify it. But I can't. And I'm kind of swinging from the holiday to the pimping and commercialism of Christ, because it's all in the same line. Being a musician, as Christ-sized soldiers, people would say, hey, can you come and minister? We never asked for money. And if they didn't give us anything, we didn't trip. It just was what it was. If somebody wanted to bless us, we didn't say no, but what we guaranteed them was like, look, hey, whatever, if you give us something, great. And sometimes it was just gas money. Sometimes people just flew us out someplace, and then we slept on couches, And then as we got more known and more popular, sometimes we were flying overseas and doing different things. But through it all, when they say, so what are your honorariums? What are your da-da-da? I'm like, we don't do that. Just get us there. And then they would bless us. Sometimes they would hide money in stuff, like give us gift baskets, and you open up the basket and there's an envelope in there. They find creative ways. And I noticed the more we stayed away from money, the more blessings we got. That's why Christ-sized soldiers lasted so long, because it was all about ministry. And churches really can be the same way. Look, you don't need to chase money so hard when it comes to giving the message. When I show up to your church, if you don't know how these pastors be working it, you have no idea how the honorarium game goes amongst a lot of churches and pastors when it comes to traveling. I need this. And I'm just like, whatever. I have that's a whole nother show. I can't even really get into that right now, but you have no idea the pimping of Christ in the church. But I won't even get into that. It's too deep. It gets to people's core too much. I'm just one of them people, like, if I play drums, I'm going to play drums for free. If I have time to play drums 6 or 7 days a week for Christ, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sing for Christ. But it is what it is. How am I gonna charge somebody he don't charge me? The Jesus doesn't go, well, you got spinal meningitis. Man, Arquise, I'm your father, but I'm gonna have to charge you like $250 for this, because, even though I can completely heal you for free, I need something for my time and effort. It doesn't happen. That's not how it works. So, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know how much stuff he does for us? Doesn't it seem like we're like the spoiled kids? That's what Christians, look, believers versus Christians, there is a difference. The Christians out here who run everything, pretty much the majority of, those are the ones that want to be paid for everything. You know what I'm saying? The holier than thou. They act like they died on the cross. Believers, on the other hand, we're just lucky to be asked. Like, thank you so much. We're so happy that somebody even recognized that God has given us a gift. Like, yo, we don't even need to talk about money. I'm with it. So, it's a whole nother issue, man. I'm just kind of tying it into the holidays, how at the end of the day, man, how you gonna charge somebody who blesses you every day? It's like, you're a real parent, you got kids, and you tell your kids come to you and say, Mom, they're in high school and there's a field trip, and they need money to go on the field trip, and they need $20, but you charge them $100. That's for the $20. It don't make any sense. No, I'm sorry. I said that backwards. They charge you for even asking, right? Like, you're the parent and your kid's charging you for even what they're doing. But you know what I'm saying. So it's your boy Arquise. Look, I'm going to play a song, man. And I'm going to play a song off the G Hits album. I'm sorry, not the G Hits album. Off of the Christ-Sized Soldiers HD album. The song is called You. Because Father, it's all about you. Yeah. Lord, have I told you how much I love you today? See, I understand understand the sacrifice that you made for me. It's all about you, Lord. I'd be nothing without you. It's all about you. And I know sometimes during worship, it's like people forget that it's really all about you. Not about them, not about them, but it's about you.
We sing la 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 when I think about the sacrifice you made. La 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 with every breath I know that you're the way. La 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 faith I strive to be my very best. La 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 with everything I know that I am blessed.
When I think about how you loved me, how you kept me, never left me. Storms and trials come my way, but I'm standing here today. I'm so chosen, something like Moses. Nothing in this world could make me lose my focus. You're always by my side, you are my ride or die, and I'ma let my light shine all the time.
La 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 when I think about the sacrifice you made. La 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 with every breath I know that you're the way. La 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 faith I strive to be my very best. La 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 with everything I know that I am blessed.
Sometimes I'm sitting in church, stepping back 'cause I'm feeling so hurt. Why does this look like a concert? Made people really wanna revert back to the days when they really would flirt. Sometimes the devil wears a little mini skirt. Yo, they mad at my jeans and t-shirt to find a way to make me feel like dirt. And that's wrong, yeah. They act like they died on the cross, acting like they never been lost. Oh, they never ever sinned, but they be hating on my skin. Lord, will they ever learn? Meet me halfway 'cause I'm ready to return. Never should it be about who. It should always be about you, yeah.
La 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 when I think
When I think
about
about
the sacrifice you made.
sacrifice you made
La 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 with every
with every breath.
I know that you're the way.
Know that you're the way.
La 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 the faith I strive to be my very best.
Very best. Yeah.
La 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 with everything I know that I am blessed. La 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 when I think about the sacrifice you made. La 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 with every breath I know that you're the way. La 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 the faith I strive to be my very best. La 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 with everything I know that I am blessed. The sacrifice you made. I know that you're the way.
I mean, that says it all. That is so much how I feel, man. And it just, if we can just get back to that, to where it's just all about him, the sacrifice he made, everything he's done, and take out all the other commercialism and all the other stuff that goes on, I think, you know what? I think America would be a much better place. That's been the problem, is we've watered him down. We keep putting things in front of him. Now, and what I'm saying is, I'm not talking, everybody does things their own different way, whatever it may be, but that's not the commercialism part I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the straight commercialism and big pimping of Christ. If we became more active and quit doing some of the silly things that we do, I think just things would be, things would be a lot better. Putting in all of the things that make Christ the Father so great. Empathy. What have we done with that? he has so much empathy towards us, all the stuff we do, but we don't want to give it to others. The hypocrisy of everything that we do. But we expect the Father to forgive us for all the things that we do. If he held us to the standard that we hold each other, we would never make it. There's no way. We have no patience, no time. We don't have no empathy for others, and it can't be 5% of the believers doing that or whoever. That's the problem, is the offset is wrong. Back in the day, as time has moved on, decade after decade after decade, it's been a shift in spirituality and a more rise in religion. Religion will let you get away with a whole lot of stuff. If you know anything about Christianity, a lot of things were done in the name of religion. A lot of people have died, a lot of indigenous people, culturally, there's a lot of things have happened because of religion, not relationship, the religion. Because in those things, people were doing a lot of horrific things in the name of religion, not in the name of the Father, religion. So that shift, right? And then we kind of saw we were getting out of control and horrible people were in charge of supposedly the agenda. And so we shifted it back where being relationship and spirituality was more important. And we saw a movement in the world and with Christ and within the country where his mindset was more of the mindset of everybody. And now we're back to another shift where the religious stuff is popping off. People are supporting pedophiles and rapists and all this other stuff, raising their hands and praying over people who would never get the time. Look, in prison, they kill pedophiles and rapists. How do you think that looks to non-believers? If you're a non-believer, you don't believe in Christ, and then you're watching TV and you see people praising this, putting their hands and praising the Christ over this pedophile that's running for office, how do you think that comes across? Just think about it. Just take a moment. If we're trying to tell people about Christ and minister to people, right? Listen, if in prison, some of the most evil people that have ever existed, and not everybody in prison is evil, because some people are in there and didn't do anything, but that's a whole nother issue. Some people are in there because of their addictions, all sorts of stuff. But listen to me. If in prison, the people that you throw away and lock up kill these people, pedophiles and rapists are so far under the bus that they're lower than murderers, right? But if I'm a non-believer and I'm watching this stuff on TV and I see these supposedly Christians, these religious people talking about Christ and Jesus and all this stuff and supporting a pedophile or a rapist or whatever he is, and he hasn't been proved. We're not talking about the judicial stuff, people. Please don't mix that up. Well, he hasn't been proven this and proven that. Okay, that's our judicial system. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we support people who have been accused of certain type of things, how it comes across, how it hurts the ministry. Perfect example, rest in peace, Pastor Long, serious advocate against homosexuality. Come to find out he was a homosexual. People were supporting it. And then they had to eat that. They had to, now when I'm saying eat that as far as like, yeah, we were wrong. You gotta see, this is where we go wrong morally, is because let me tell you what's supposed to happen. If a believer, a pastor, whoever in the body of Christ is accused of an allegation or something like that, we consciously say, hey, I'm stepping aside amidst this allegation until my name is cleared, to not detract or distract or cause any issues around the ministry or anything I'm doing. That's just common sense, 101. But you know why that doesn't happen? Because people be worrying about their position, their power, and their money. And they put that above Christ. Because if you are flowing within Christ, the Father is going to tell you to step aside. Like, hey, take a minute. Be humble and steadfast, and everything will be okay. That's how the Father deals with that kind of stuff. Because if you did nothing, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But all the time when it happens, these dudes don't do it. But then what hurts the body the most, what jacks everything up, is then you got people like, praise God and da-da-da-da and et cetera, et cetera. And then you play right into Satan's hand because he sits back and go, oh, I don't even have to do anything. So listen to me. I clearly believe in evil entities. I believe in the devil. I believe in Satan and everything in his little minions and all that stuff. I believe in all of it because I've had personal experience with it. Listen to me. He's like, I don't even need to do anything no more. These Christians are better than I am. They do more damage than I do. I can just sit back and watch this movie. Let me tell you, he didn't have to do, he's really been pulling back. Look, I used to believe that demonic move on this planet was serious. Like he just kept failing and failing and failing. And that's how it's supposed to be because we already got the victory, right? But now he's figured out like, wait a minute, just let these Christians do their thing. They'll do my work for me. Oh, this is too good. And look, it's so deep. Listen to me. That back in 2000 and the first Christ-Sized Soldier album is called Soldier Till I Die, right? And on that album, I had a profound dream. Satan came to me when I decided to stop doing Satan. This is how Satan really gets at you. When you're trying to do something good, he gonna get in your face, especially if you know you're gonna be saving lives. And he was just like, yo, you wasting your time. Let me tell you Satan's plan. And he gave me this dream and showed me the plan. And if you ever want to listen, it's called Satan Plan. It's on the Christ-Sized Soldier album, I think number 1 and 2. And he mapped out exactly what's going to happen. And it's ever since then, man, not like I didn't know, but when he tells it to you, then you see it all in your face. And one thing that he said is all this stuff is going to happen and your army ain't going to do nothing. And that's exactly what happens. We are passive. We're not soldiers. Look, let's say truly only 5% of the body is real soldiers. You don't believe me? Go to your church, look at your homeless ministry, and look at their budget. You're gonna get a reality check. Go to your youth department, and some people got some bomb youth departments. Hey, look, I'm not talking to you, but I'm just talking about when you look percentage. And look at your youth department, and look at their budget, and look what they gotta deal with. The youth is the future. The money gets spent on the tithers. Sorry about that. So what the programming is really for the people that's gonna give the most money. I'm getting you right now. You better wake up. I'm like on fire on this show, man. I'm getting at you. Like, if you're a believer and you're a Christian, you listen to this, man, you are there doing two things. Oh my God, Keith, really? Like, why you gotta always be so militant? I'm militant when it comes to the Father. I gotta be. That's why it's called soldiers, Christ-sized soldiers. It doesn't say Christ-sized civilian, Christ-sized security guard, It don't. I'm a soldier about it, man. I gotta be, because I'm on the front line. I'm fighting. I'm trying to get things right. And there's some real Christ-sized soldiers. Like, let me just tell you, people take it to that next level. Went over to when they were killing them Christians. There are a lot of real Christians that were not military, not nothing. Went over there and fought against a lot of those terrorists, lost their lives. That's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens. You get provoked to the point where the devil gets in your face and be like, what you gonna do? I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna do the same thing you've been doing. And that's why I'm so fired up on this show. I'm fired up on this show because I sense something horrible gonna happen here in America and across the world. Something so demonic is in play that I am deeply worried about our young people. Suicide on the rise, depression on the rise. They call this generation the I generation, and they are under attack like never. The I generation is under demonic attack through social media, and it's horrific. I see some demonic things coming. Like, it ain't never been the way it is now. You got Klan people popping collars. You got alt-right and Klan people telling the president, like, yo, we put you in office. You got the president of the United States telling people there's good people. You've got the devil popping his collar, dancing around in our faces, and we're so busy arguing and getting at each other. He laughing like, you guys are pathetic. You're supposed to be God's army? Right. Then the devil be like, yo, come over here. He's calling his homies. He's calling other people from hell who went to hell. He's taking a break. Okay, pause. Everybody take a break from torture. I want you to see what your people is doing. So people who went to hell getting tortured, this is in my mind how I see it, right? Yo, you gotta come and watch the show right now. Like, Planet Earth show 101. Like, look at this. You thought you guys came to hell. These guys are guaranteed to come to hell. Look at the stuff they're doing. It's like, it's just hysterical, because that's why I really see it like being that way. Like, and then I try not to think what Jesus think. Like, when I pray, I really don't try to be like in that dimensional realm. I pray and I have this connection, personal relationship with him. But in my mind, what I see him doing with watching us is just crying. Just crying. In the heavens, crying. And like, it's so funny because there was this show that people used to give a hard time called Supernatural. And in this show, right, God left. He just left the earth, like left it to whatever. Like, yo, you know what? It's funny. He was here hiding in a weird way, but the premise was, and there's been a couple of shows like that. Matter of fact, there was another show that God left the earth and just completely left it to be because we had got out of control. The concept was amazing. I was just like, oh, wow. You know, but it's just, man, with Christmas coming, I'm so fired up because what I want is for people to change. I want things to get right. Stop being religious and be connected to the real heart of the Father. You know, he's patient. Are we patient? He's forgiving. Are we forgiving? He's understanding. Are we understanding? He's loving towards all of us. Are we loving everybody? Are we the way he is with us to others? That takes sacrifice because that's what he did for us. So why is it so hard for us to do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm on this radio show today because I would not have been here if I didn't forgive. That was the first thing. I knew it was destroying my life. Pain and suffering and anger was destroying my life. But number one at that was forgiveness. I knew because I wasn't forgiving people, I was giving that it was fueling the anger and all those things. It just, every time I thought I was getting better, it come right back, right? It's like a seed that gets planted. And my seed was planted through my abuse and my suffering, everything I went through when I was 3. You know, so when you say God and you take something to God, or, you know, that you know, Lord, just, you know, you forgive me. You give him about 80% of your issue. 50%, 70%, but you don't give them 100% because it's still in there. You hiding it because you think you have a right to that pain. You think you have a right to that suffering. So that person knows you're not happy. But the reality is that is a seed that the devil just waters when he needs to throw you off. Anytime he wants to provoke you or do something to throw you off your promise and your God's plan, all he does is water that seed that you left there. You took up the branches, the leaves, and everything, but you left that one little thing because you feel like you got a right to it. You want to get Christmas back to the where it needs to be. You want everything. You want to heal this nation. You got to dig that seed up and give it to God, because that will start making you deal with reality in the right way. You'll stop being passive when people when I'm talking about fighting people physically. What I'm saying is you will walk as Christ walked. You ain't gotta look. It's an action. The way you work at your job, you always on time. You just the work ethic you have, the way you at school, the way you in your home, the way you with your wife, the way you with your husband, the way you with everything. It's a Christ walk. You're not gonna be perfect, but that journey is an amazing thing. I'd rather fall 100 times and get up, and because every time you fall, the Father's right there teaching you like a real parent. Get with me. Get with me. People, get with me. Now let me take a pause for the cause. People, if you're a non-believer, you're just someone listening to this radio station, let me just break this down in a very simple term. You're atheist, okay? You have no religious affiliation, okay? But you exist in this universe. Then it's still the basic principle of right, wrong, being a good person, being active in your community, and showing empathy and understanding towards others. That's not even rocket science. I don't even throw religion into that. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Not even rocket science. If you're some other religion, you're Jewish, Buddhist, whatever it may be, I know enough about all these books. Yeah, there's some stuff in the Quran, and however y'all want to flip that. You can get radical. Look, every religion can be radical. I've never heard of radical Buddhist though. Never heard of that. They're very not that way. But come on, Christianity has been radicalized multiple times. Just do your history. It's not rocket science, Inquisition, and everything else. Every other religion's had their moments. Right now, okay, it's them. So, but the reality is the very principle of the most important parts of the Quran, most important parts of the Torah and all the other books that they have and everything else around Christianity. The core of it is the most beautiful part is love towards each other, all those different things. It's the beautiful part about treating how we're supposed to treat each other. Straight up. You guys have to sense that something is coming. These little issues we're dealing with right now are the seeds in this planet, are the seeds in America that is getting shoved so down into the earth that it's gonna be so hard to dig it out because we're tolerating too much stuff. We're letting too much stuff slide. We're looking up to pedophiles and rapists, and well, they haven't been convicted. Okay, step aside. Until you cleared, step aside. That's not rocket science. If you was at your job, your regular job today, and you got accused of anything, then you're on probation. You are suspended. Why is that not the case in everything else when it comes to power and politics? What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? You can't be that dense. We've got to get back to basics. No one is exempt from process, period. Yes, you are innocent until proven guilty, but you will not be holding a position until that's taken care of. We're not gonna throw you in jail or nothing like that, but you're gonna have your due process, but since in the process, step aside. And if you're found innocent, come back. It's not even that hard. Whoo, boy, y'all making me go in on y'all today, man. Y'all pushing me over the edge. I'm just like, I'm on that Jesus walk right now, boy. Look, I love you guys, man. Look, I love everybody on the left. I love everybody on the right. I love everybody in general. What I'm trying to get y'all to do to understand is you think you're right on the left, you think you're right on the right, and everybody in the middle is sitting here. Everybody in the middle, which is who I think most of America is, 75% or more, we're just shaking our head going, how did it get like this? How did these two parties get so much control? And they're not even the majority of the Americans. There's 25 over here and 25 over there. It might be 35 over there now and whatever over here. But the reality is, at the end of the day, none of that's gonna matter. Whatever's coming, and listen to me, every great civilization has had this moment. The Persians had it, the Romans have had it. Everybody who was in charge over this planet at some point in time all had that reckoning. You can kind of smell it in the air kind of thing. When whoever was ruling lost it all. That time is coming for us. I don't know what it'll be. Something, the planet completely jacked up by some virus. Whatever it is coming. I don't think it's gonna be something like that. I think it's definitely gonna be something right out of Revelations, which we're already seeing. And I think we're going to continue to sit back and just worry about fake news and everything else. We're worrying about all the wrong things, and the devil's right in our face laughing. And I'm not calling President Trump the devil. What I'm saying is, because we're in spiritual warfare right now, that the devil in general is just sitting back laughing, saying, wow, I don't even need to do anything. I'm just going to watch this. This is amazing. This is great stuff. They're not even using the Bible the Bible has all the answers. They're not even using it. They're just using their politics to solve their problems and hoping that they get their guy in. If they just pick that Bible up, this is not even rocket science. Whatever. But look, to be honest, because if you're, on the other side of it, just to be fair, I know why Christians and believers vote on the right, because Christian values are more rooted over there, and they hate the liberals because they're going to undermine that. And that is going to happen. That is the truth. That's what I truly believe, because marriage, Christian in most religions. Homosexuality, you already know. Everything that the liberals very open to, very PC about, the right is not that way. It doesn't believe in those things. So that's why you see, just be honest, that's why you see Christians voting for people who they should never be voting for, and they feel forced to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality of it. You're a Christian, you're like, if I don't vote for this guy, these guys over here are gonna completely undermine everything that I'm doing, everything that I believe in the Bible. Homosexuality, whatever it may be. That's kind of the mindset. If you don't know that's their mindset around it. But it's a double win for the devil, because he compromises Christianity by showing everybody, look, they're gonna vote for this pedophile, this rapist, and if he loses, the liberals win because look, homosexuality everywhere and all this other stuff. So I'm just saying in general, I'm playing devil's advocate, and I don't like playing devil's advocate, but I'm just saying, in this case, it actually works because that's the mindset. That's kind of how that works. So I'm talking a lot more on this because it's so important, that people get this. That's what's in play. That's what's going on. So we talked about the holidays, very important. If you're a believer, you know what I'm saying. If you're not, just do your research. And if you're a non-believer, look at whatever you do during the holidays and just pull commercialism out of it. Make it about connecting and being a real person towards people who don't have anything. And don't worry about these sales and all that stuff where they fighting. Get away from that stuff. And as we swing into the politics of everything and all the stuff that we're missing because we're so busy focusing on our agendas and stuff, people just take a breath, take a minute, and look what's really happening here in America and how we're getting played spiritually by acting out, hating each other. It's your boy Keith, man. I just want y'all to just have a Merry Christmas. Happy Father's Day, Father. Thank you for coming to this planet, taking time out your busy schedule. The universe is a big place. And if you think the planet Earth is the only planet, I never believe this is the only planet in the universe. There's no daggone way, because the universe is massive and my Father made it. And I know he's got other stuff popping on out there. I'm hoping that we're not at the bottom of that list. Like these guys here, man, forget about it. And I'm tired of being like the reality show of the universe for everybody else. I'm pretty sure nobody really wants to come here and visit. You feel me? I'm being a little funny, but in all seriousness, man, I love you guys, man. Please take these conversations I'm having with you as thought-provoking and a way to provoke you to do something. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at color, race, creed. Get away from that stuff. It's just silly. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. Look, I've definitely been where you've been, where color and all that stuff, man. That's devil playing me. But the closer I got to the Father, the more he exposed devil's plan, Satan's plan. And once I understood Satan's plan, I was like, nah, you ain't never playing me like that again. I'm never gonna look at color the same way. You're not playing me like that. I know the Father, and he speaks to me, talks to me. You never playing me around power and all that stuff. When I was in the music industry, he knew exactly how to get at me. Try to use that. He will use any and everything to get you to not follow God's plan, to make you go against what God believes. Not going out like that way. So it's your boy Keith, man. I want to give a special holiday shout out to Yahweh International, New Foundation Productions, man. Y'all don't know. Hey, if you haven't been listening, they sponsor this show. They've really been supporting us and giving us a voice to get out here and make change. That's been it. We're gonna actually be doing a live video feeds and really taking the show to a whole nother level. So I hope you guys have stick with me and be a part of what we're doing. And I hope it's a blessing. I don't come at it like these structured. I come at these shows as food for thought. That's the whole. Whatever God puts in me, I put it out there. Am I a prophet? No, I don't think I'm a prophet. I'm just a guy who loves my daddy and he talks to me and I talk to y'all. That's how it works. All right, man. I love you guys. Yahweh International, Robert, you guys over there, the whole fam. New Foundation Productions, man. Continue. I love you guys for supporting what we do, man. We're going to do big things in 2018. It's your boy. We out.